Hi, I'm Andrew Earnshaw, and in this series, I'd like to talk a little bit about missions, evangelism, and discipleship and what that looks like. We often think that evangelism looks like having exactly the right thing to say or giving out a tract to someone that someone will hopefully open. We're looking for the right methodology, the right system, and maybe that's why you're here. Now, there are some really practical tools to do that, but before we look at that, let's reframe what evangelism is. Right? We often think it's about getting people to accept Christ so that they can get out of hell. And that's honestly kind of how I saw my Christianity for the first 27 years of my life, right? Now, that's part of it, but I want to reframe that just a little bit. Jesus didn't tell us to go out and convert people. He said to go out and make disciples. Evangelism is absolutely necessary, and evangelism is incredibly important. But evangelism is just the first step in the disciple making process. God can do something with that first step, and He will, but it's a lot more likely to stick in a person's life if the process continues through relationship. And oftentimes in the West, we think of our lives in form of to-do lists. Like, what do I got to do today? I got to take care of the lawn. I got to take out the garbage. I got to do this at work. We make to-do lists, and we do that same thing in our Christian walk. Did I pray today? Did I go to church this week? Did I tell somebody about Jesus in the last year? And like I said, telling people about Jesus is important, and we should do it wherever we go. And God will use that in a person's life. But think about the disciples of Christ. Think about the ones that Jesus called disciples. There was a commitment. There was time spent. There was an investment on Jesus' behalf. And through that investment, Jesus changed the world with a handful of guys, right? He didn't tell them about himself so they could escape hell. He talked about a kingdom that would change everything. He talked about a radically different way of life and seeing things. Instead of talking like most people do about, the sweet life of wealth and fame, Jesus talked about how blessed humble people were. That meekness, brokenness, and sacrifice and being born again were the things that were the most important. Jesus loved his disciples completely. He cared for them, he walked with them, and he told them the full implications of what it meant to be part of the kingdom of God. And he was talking about a complete renovation. Doesn't that look a little different from what we think of evangelism and discipleship today? That's what he's called us to help others with. That's the Great Commission. Now, God might use us to just witness about him and move on, but the commission is talking about making disciples. And we can start with people around us that need someone to walk with them, that need somebody to invest in them, to teach them the ways that Jesus taught. And we can't make disciples unless we are disciples. And so in the next couple videos, we're going to talk about what it looks like to be a disciple.